Hello, Dr. Vicki Petersen here. I wanted to speak with you today about an interesting study that just came out a couple of weeks ago out of the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry, and this was middle of December, and it had to do with gluten-free diet reducing adiposity, which is another way of saying losing weight. And in our country, where 2/3 of our population is overweight, 1/3 of our population is obese, and literally every time we look at these statistics, they just continue to worsen. They never improve. We obviously have a serious problem. Maybe in the past you've heard me talk about maybe a little upset or angry at the fact that sometimes gluten is looked at, or gluten-free diets specifically, are looked at as some, latest and greatest weight loss tool, and I can get a little upset about that just because I think it's putting it in too narrow of a category. Not that it can't help you lose weight. Obviously it can. The study's going to make that readily apparent in a moment. But I think sometimes it diminishes the importance of gluten because this is a protein found in the grains wheat, rye, and barley that we now understand can affect every system in the human body, from your nervous system to your digestive system to symptoms causing fatigue and migraines and infertility and liver disease and heart disease. And there just literally is not a system in the human body that is not potentially affected by gluten in people who are at risk. So this is a serious area, but what I loved about this study, the study was done on mice, but what they looked at was, and don't negate it just because it's done on mice and you go, I'm not a mouse. There's a lot of studies. The reason they're done on mice and rats, not rice, is because these animals, biochemically are very similar to humans, as much as that might not be readily apparent upon just a visual tour. But the studies are done that way because these animals are fairly easy to work with, but there is a similarity, or researchers wouldn't keep using them. Anyway, so what they did was they had this exact same strain of mice divided into two groups. They were both on a high-fat diet. One was given gluten at 4% of their diet, and one was on a gluten-free diet. So not only were the mice on the gluten-free diet shown to lose weight, even though both sets were on the high-fat diet, but more importantly was what their blood values showed. So the mice that were on the gluten-free diet not only lost the weight, but their blood values showed they were less likely to develop diabetes, also known as insulin resistance. So not only were you gain weight, but you develop diabetes, you develop heart disease. They were less pro-inflammatory. We now understand that inflammation is really the beginning of degenerative disease that can affect a great number of different systems in the human body. So degenerative diseases of all sorts. In these mice that were on the gluten-free diet, once again, they not only lost the weight, but their blood values showed they were much less likely to suffer from any inflammation and much less likely to suffer from insulin resistance, leading to the overweight, heart disease, diabetes, that whole grouping of negative symptoms that is just awash in the U.S. population, starting in preteens. This is starting very, very young in our population. So a very exciting study. What the researchers said, and I'm going to look down at my notes here, is that they felt that this was because it was not only shown to lose weight, but to reduce insulin resistance and inflammation, that gluten-free diet should really be used as a tool to influence health benefits in people who are at risk for overweight and insulin resistance. So pretty interesting study. So if you want to lose weight, a gluten-free diet is certainly fine to try, and I encourage you to do that. Best, if you can, to get a blood test to see if you have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, because it can affect your body in so many ways other than weight or in addition to weight. If you absolutely cannot get a test for yourself, then do a scientific 30-day trial of absolutely no gluten. You can go to my website at healthnowmedical.com. We have a great page in our website that really contains not only the obvious places that gluten is found in our diet, but some of the sneaky places that you wouldn't necessarily think foods that would contain gluten but do. So you can just really get yourself ready for that 30-day trial and then adopt it, be very strict with yourself, and see how you feel after 30 days. Realize it's not just about what the scale is doing, but how you're feeling. If you really notice a benefit in how you feel, then that is considered a positive test and you should refrain from eating gluten. So I hope this was helpful. This was really a very nice research study. I'm sure they'll follow up with humans as well. The benefit for the gluten-free diet was really quite pervasive and exciting and really goes to an area that as Americans we need a great deal of assistance. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I love hearing from you. And until next time, I wish you very good health.